Have you ever been stuck in a situation where you're going against an Anders in a 3v3 match and they either go mass Sentinels or let me see, mass Sentinels? Well, if so, you have come to the right place because I am playing as Arbiter. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do some early game aggression in order to go ahead and try and stop said Anders from going to mass air. And even if you're in an uncomfortable situation where you don't really have that much anti-air, what are the right steps to go ahead and take in order to try and dominate this mass air situation coming from the Sentinels with Anders? So I am playing as Arbiter. We have our teammate Dark Blue playing as Covenant, and we have ourselves a UNSC playing as Light Green, and we have Anders, which is yellow. That's who we're going to be paying attention to a lot in this game. And then we also have Red, which is playing as UNSC, and Orange playing as UNSC as well. We'll find out their leaders when we go ahead and get closer in their engagements. And so I immediately start off with a Ghost, and I send that Ghost over because I want to try and get those supplies and power that is going to be on that left hand side. And so by doing so, it's just going to allow me to get a larger bump, and if any infantry or anything like that shows up, I'll be able to at least have a fighting chance for it. So I do get the teleport ability here. Shout out to that one dude in the comment. It costs 200 power. It's pretty expensive. Stasis Mine would be probably the better way to go. And speaking of which, I also had some great advice to give some tutorials or some, at least some input in regards to different leaders and different situations. And that's something I plan on doing down the line as well. No more Fire Emblem for now because I don't got that time for it. But anyways, we're going to continue to get the remainder of those resources on that left-hand side. Raid camp is coming down for 5th point, and I'm going to be ready to start pumping out elite enforcers. So the plan here is to try and get ourselves a good engagement and try and just pressure as much as we can. We do have Ghost and a Grunt to go ahead and deal with the enemy that it's going to be on that left hand side. He's going to want to try and go on that high ground, which is totally fine. That's going to be my cue to go ahead and get their own supplies and get that garrison on their side of the map so I can see if yellow's going to go ahead and expand. Fun tidbit, a very good tidbit, is to go ahead and try and take the enemy's garrison as soon as possible, because here we go, yellow is already showing a second base, and my build order right now is going to be pumping out elite enforcers, and we're going to be pumping out ghosts, and we're going to put our rally at the enemy base so we can go ahead and just start sending units over there as soon as possible, so that way we can go ahead and punish this very early game aggression that's coming by the enemy right now. So we are going to go ahead and also grab ourselves a second base because we have the resources for it. And we're going to get Conduit of Rage as our second point. So that way we can go ahead and get the benefits of our abilities that we're going to go ahead and end up using here. So all in all, Marines have shown up, but we do have Ghosts and beautiful ram by the Ghost to go ahead and do some great damage. And here we go. The first Sentinel is going to go ahead and show up for us to go ahead and start being concerned about. We don't really have much units here, but we do have some Grunts that can at least try and get a good engagement against these Sentinels. So now we're going to have some micro ability. Teleport is going to come in to use the Conduit of Rage to go ahead and use our Grunts to focus down on those Sentinels. And now it's going to be a little micro battle here. I want to try and get my elite enforcers away from the Sentinels and keep my Grunt in a situation where they can go ahead and keep targeting down those Sentinels themselves, and then have the Ghosts also be in a situation where they can run away. And so it does look like we're doing some good damage for the base, but this is a problem because we don't have much anti-air. And so I'm still trying to focus them down with my Ghost and my Grunts at this point, and just hope that I can still take out the base, and then we can go ahead and start retreating from here. And there we go, we were able to take it out. Now we're going to go ahead and start going for a retreat. And notice that I am starting to build Grunts. The main reason is because Sentinels are not going to be so great against that. And so I want to be ready to go ahead and circumvent that and start working on that anti-air now that we were able to deny the base. We are now going to also look and see if we can run into that teleporter. At least that's the play that I think I'm going to end up doing. And there we go, we have more Sentinels that's on that side. So very concerning, but we're going to keep that Grunt production. We're ready for Tech 2. We're going to keep making those Grunts. And now we're going to see if we're going to take TP or not. Here we go. We're sending a Grunt to see if a second expansion is happening, and there is. So that's going to be our cue to go ahead and send our units through the teleporter, and the rest of our units are going to stay at our second base in order to go ahead and defend. And so we do have Blue playing as Atriox. He's in a tough situation against that Jerome. Looks like he's going to get taken out there. But we're going to go ahead and just keep making those elite enforcers, keep making those grunts, and we're going to go ahead and move our rally back to our second base while we go ahead and try and take out Orange's expansion base over here. So we do have very good pressure that's happening right now. Elite enforcers are coming in. We're going to keep making more supply pads just because we're very supply heavy at this very moment, while we keep on reinforcing on that left hand side to look to see if we can come back. And speaking of which, we put our grunt on that garrison, and what do we see? We see ourselves a second base trying to be grabbed by yellow once again. And so our units are going to go ahead and reinforce with each other at the teleporter, and now we're going to make our foundry because this is phase 2. Grunts are good for that anti-air, but what's better are Reavers. So we want to try and get ourselves Reavers up. Right now we still don't really have much to do in regards to building. We're going to go with Plasma Bolt as our third point. That doesn't mean Conduit of Rage won't have a wider range, that it does, but it still will be pretty good nevertheless. And so we're now going to get ready to go for this push. Speaking of which, Sentinels are looking to take the teleporter. I pinged and let my teammates know. Hopefully they were able to see that. Probably not because it happened so fast. But because of that, their army is out of position, and now I'm going to get myself another good engagement over here to try and focus down. And there we go. We got the Sentinels coming that way. And now we got to try and micro our grunts over. Plasma Bolt is going to come down, which is going to help do a little bit of damage with the Conduit of Rage as well. Now all of a sudden we're getting ourselves dropped by the Jerome. And now we're going to try and focus down the base with the elite enforcers while the grunts go ahead and try and work on everything else. We do have ourselves Atriox Burox that gets popped, and we were able to at least deny the second base. We're going to stay with this engagement for now just because of the fact that we have good reinforcements streamlining in. But now red is starting to show up as well with their Jerome. And so that's going to be my cue to retreat for now because that's not really an engagement that I want to go ahead and take. Got confused with my own base with the teammate. That does happen sometimes. And now we're looking to see if there's anything else we can do. Green has also denied Orange's second base, which is always very nice to see. We're still stuck on this elite enforcer play at the moment. And so the next play here would just be to continue that deny, see if we can get some good pressure going on our side of the lane, and just go from there, honestly. So all in all, things are looking pretty good, and here comes the big Sentinel attack that is coming in, and we were able to deny that. He felt comfortable attacking just because there was a lot of elite enforcers, but we do have good grunts mixed in as well as some Reavers, and so now it doesn't really look like yellow has something to counter me with. And because of that, I'm going to get ready to go ahead and start pushing even further. There's that second base by yellow. He's not going to go ahead and get that. We're going to deny that very quick. And there's some more Sentinels on that right hand side. And so at this point I'm thinking, okay, I think I have a good enough army to go ahead and try and attack yellow's main base. And so we're going to keep trying to just get our base defenses up just in case, continue the Reaver production. But we are flowing a lot of supply. We're finally going to get that base upgraded to level 2 so we can get those 2 additional building slots, which will then allow us to build the power gen when needed. But War Console is going to come down because Arbiter is a very good leader, and I'm surprised I did not go Arbiter in this map. But given what I have, I just decided to just stick with what I got. And so second point in Conduit of Rage, so then we can go ahead and get a wider span when we're using our ability to get that damage and speed and health boost. And so here we go. Yellow comes up with some turrets, at least they're trying to. They do have a siege turret as well. Reavers are already here, and yellow's actually out of position, which is actually kind of funny that that's happening. And so we're trying to focus down on the base. We do have Reavers. That's going to help with the anti-air. We're going to see if we can try and destroy as much as we can in regards to that. We are losing a little bit of units. Turret drop does come in, but we are going to at least be able to get rid of the siege turret. At least I hope we will. And we're going to just keep doing some good economic damage if possible. We're going to focus some of that stuff down and clear out the rest. So not surprised that the enemy hasn't come, and now they have. We've killed 2 heavy supply pads and an air pad. A teleport's going to come in to dodge the ODST drop, and that's going to be our cue to go ahead and take out the expansion base that's happening by yellow. And this is why I love teleport. I think teleport is very versatile and very good. Gets you out of sticky situations. But Stasis Mind is pretty good in itself too for the early game, so it's a little give and take in that situation. But here we go, we do have ourselves finally upgrades that are going to start coming into this game. And now I'm going to look to take the teleporter to go ahead and help our teammate Green. He's kind of in a stalemate in regards to Orange, And so if I can come in and help reinforce and get rid of those Nightingales that's supporting him with the heals, then I think we're going to be able to at least take out the enemy on this side of the map. And so Reavers are in. Reavers are jumping in from the high ground to the low ground. We do have more reinforcements coming in. We're still getting those base defenses up. Who knows what's happening on that right-hand side? Now we do. So it does look like we were able to get rid of the anti-air all entirely, which is great to see. And now elite enforcers are going to show up to start shredding the base. And here comes another drop coming in by Jerome, and now Plasma Bolt gets called so I can go ahead and get that boost with the heals and whatnot. And snipers are starting to show up, and here comes the mass Sentinels as well. So we're going to try and focus down on the base, use our Reavers to push back the air, but it does look like they have themselves just enough to be able to hold that base. So that's going to be my cue to go ahead and fall back a little bit. So we are going to pop some Y moves and see if we can get some fighting in. Atriox is then going to come in to help reinforce. And here comes a Spartan trying to take our stuff, which is going to be very unfortunate. We want to focus it down, but we don't have much units that will allow us to do so. So reinforcement upgrade is going to come in, and our teammate Atriox gets wrecked, but a great cleansing beam is coming down by him as well. And so now we just got to retreat just for a little bit. We don't really have everything that we need in this situation, but we are floating a lot of supply. We're going to see if we can do something with those supplies by sending our units over and then keep making units in the meantime. So Red is going to try and push Green's base, but he does have some turrets and he does have some army there. And so this is going to be my cue. We're going to try and coordinate attack with Dark Blue and myself. And it does look like no one's there on that left-hand side. And so now he's going to go ahead and start focusing on his main base. I'm going to go ahead and try and reinforce. Mind you, this is just Atriox Banshees. It's nothing special in this regards. I'm going to get the leader points and make leader abilities cooldowns a little bit faster. And so reinforcements are coming in, anti-air turrets by the enemy. And Eradicate is coming down, and it does look like we are going to be able to dodge that. Well, it's kind of weird because there's no Covenant, so I don't really know what his play was in that regards. But he did do some damage towards the enemy base. And now we got ourselves an engagement at the bottom with a bunch of infantry. We're going to go ahead and pop the Y move with the Arbiter, give some Conduit of Rage. We're going to start attacking the infantry that is here. And so far, so good. We don't really have any other leader abilities coming in, but we are going to use a teleport to get ourselves out of this situation, mainly because we don't really have anything we could do with our Reavers. It's just sitting there. So let's let the Arbiter and the Banshees do all the work over here, because we got rid of that anti-air. Speaking of which, here comes Cutter using his Call of Support. Got that name totally wrong, but he's trying to reinforce his teammate to the best of his ability over here. And so I'm kind of bottlenecked, ready to go to Tech 3. And so we're going to start doing that, but I didn't have so much supply. And then there you have it. Red ends up leaving the game. Saw my Arbiter on his side of the lane and he said, nope, I am not doing it. Orange is here to try and reinforce as well, but Green is already looking to push that side. And it does look like this game is going to start coming to a close. So Blue's Banshees are working on the remainder of those infantry, but long story short, if you want to stop mass Sentinels from happening, definitely, at least on this map, get that high ground vision. It's so important, honestly, you really need that. And two, Grunts can take you a long way. You saw that I went Elite Enforcers and Ghosts early on, but I quickly pivoted to get some Grunts into my army, mainly because that's some additional anti-air, and it takes it longer for the air to go ahead and wipe them out. And so, his game is coming to a close any second now. No expansion bases, and there we go. The game is now over. So, with that being said, if you like this, feel free to give it a like. If you did, I appreciate you so much if you made it this far. I keep forgetting to be suave and ask for that like in general, but it's all good. If not, no worries. I'm playing it as Arbiter. Apple Pie is playing as Atriox. KX Nasty playing as Anders, and then we got ourselves a Jerome with Gang for Anything, Tiny Loda playing as Anders, and Kiz playing as Cutter. And so with that being said, that's pretty much it for now. The efficiency game was pretty solid. It wasn't really too crazy. I actually lost more units than killed, and so that's what happens when you try to be aggressive in the early game, but we denied them all. And so speaking of which, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Shout out to my Patreons, Good Guy, Nathan Harrison, and Zach Bruno. I'm doing game development on the side as well, so if you're interested in that, or interested in just supporting what I'm doing, feel free to go ahead and use the Patreon. If not, enjoy the rest of your day. Have yourself a good one. And until next time.